Hello and welcome all as usual today too. You are welcome to the aftermarket analysis station. This is an aftermarket analysis station. Here we look at what confirmations Nifty and Bank Nifty provided after the close, where the buyers showed interest and where the sellers showed interest. Okay, no call tips, etc. This aftermarket analysis session lasts for 10 to 15 minutes, after which all your both questions are taken. If you're new and want to learn order flow or want to learn how to use GoCharting effectively, you can join this live session every day. The link for this live session is uploaded on the Discord and Telegram community of GoCharting. Every day before 5 p.m. If you are new and haven't joined the community, the link is provided in the description where you can join. Okay, so before reading today's market, let's take a quick look at the volume profile to confirm how and where the confirmations are. For today's volume profile, the tick size of Nifty is 180. Okay, so a basic small structure has been followed for the past 23 days. Like this was the VPOC zone yesterday. It was respected well. The market took rejections from here the day before yesterday. And then from here. Okay, the same. The entire value area of yesterday was the same. Rejections were taken from here today. For the past 23 days, this was the VPOC zone. It broke. A downtrend came. Then another VPOC zone was formed for a day. From here, significant movements came. A rejection was taken from here. Then this was the VPOC zone of the previous day. And today, as soon as this VPOC zone broke, another downtrend came. So VPOC zones are quite important and play a significant role. Here, we marked yesterday's VPOC zone. This is yesterday's value area. Okay, the high of this value area is this, and the low is this line. Okay, today, okay, now let's read the 5-minute footprint here and see where the buyers and sellers have interest. Before reading the footprint, we should know what delta is, because with the help of delta, please, as soon as I stop the live recording, I will take your questions. Now we will go to the footprint and see where the buyers and sellers have interest. Okay, so to read the footprint properly, we need to know what delta is. This is a simple line from yesterday's volume profile. This is 2, this is the value area, this is the value area lock. Okay, so what is delta? Delta simply tells us the difference between buyers and sellers. For example, we took the first candle, looked at its delta, the upper line is the delta of all values. Okay, the delta we got here came out to be negative 24, which means negative, denotes the sellers here. So within this candle, after a negative of 24,000, what is the value? It's 24,024, which means there were 24,000 more sellers in the first candle compared to buyers. And in the next candle, there is no negative sign and its value is 13,000. So that means there are more buyers in this candle. And how many more? There are 13,000 more buyers compared to sellers. The candle is red, but there is no selling activity here. The candle is green, but no buying activity occurred. Order flow helps us a lot in this aspect as well. Yesterday's weak zone was this. Okay. Now, how is the delta value derived? On the right side, there is a multiplication sign in between. In every candle, which is a symbol to separate buyers and sellers. On the right side, we have buyers, and on the left side, we have sellers. So how is the delta formed? It will add all the buyers on the right side, and then add the sellers on the left side, and then subtract from each other. So if the value of the sellers on the left side is higher, then we have a negative delta. If the value of the buyers on the right side is higher, then we get a positive delta. Okay, that's the impulse. Now you might be noticing two things. Some candles have data that is quite high, like 55, 30, 24. And some candles have data that is quite low, whether positive or negative, like 2, 1. Okay, look, 6. So what does all this mean? It simply means that the candles with heavy delta, whether on the buying side or the selling side, indicate that there is significant activity within those candles. There have been more buyers or sellers, and those same buyers and sellers can somehow clarify the market's direction here. Okay, sir. So what will we do here? We will pick those candles whose delta is quite high. By quite high, we mean candles whose delta is 30 or above. In Nifty, we will look at and understand those candles to see what happened in them, whether there are more buyers or more sellers. Then we will see exactly what happened there. Let's start with the first candle. Is its delta above 30 or not? The delta of the first candle is usually quite high every day, so if you trade, be a little cautious. Now, one thing is that the delta of the first candle is negative and it is presenting a resistance which is yesterday's VPOC zone. Okay, this is yesterday's volume node and the market is inside this zone. All right, on the downside, there was no buying attempt seen, so a symbol of bearishness was observed. In the next candle, there is very little positive delta, indicating bearishness. If it is above 30, we will take some action. Another delta was observed, which is quite significant, around the value of 30, as this candle's delta told us it is around 30,000 more sellers compared to buyers within this candle. The delta informed us that there are more sellers in this candle. Okay, the delta informed us. So now, how will we read the footprint of this candle? What is more? Are the sellers significantly more? So instead of reading the right side or the buyer's side, we only read what is more, which are the sellers, and we look at which particular point has more sellers. This is the particular point where significant selling activity has occurred. It's a small candle. And if we take the entire candle, there's no problem. Look, there was selling at 39 and 34. Significant selling occurred. And while taking rejection from yesterday's volume node, sellers showed their interest here, meaning there is one resistance. While taking rejection from that resistance, sellers showed their interest by engaging in selling activity, which is quite a good confirmation. We saw another candle with substantial data of 55. If we demand the selling zone of this candle as well, within the first candle itself, look here, 27, 25, the most selling happened right here within this handle. Selling occurred again within this zone. And now the price has broken to the downside. So that means this selling was not absorbed anywhere, and it can serve as a significant resistance. That's exactly what happened. It took a small pullback, and one rejection here at the pullback. In the sense, how are we indicating the pullback? Look, the pullback happened while the selling was ongoing from 50 to 50,000, 30,000, and only 10,000, 2,000, the buying is happening here at the time of the pullback. So that means it's a good pullback to find out short opportunities, and there is no buyer interest anywhere. One pullback happened. There were some buying attempts in between at 20, 35, 40, but still a significant selling zone has been established as resistance. So until this breaks on the upside, attempting any buying could be quite foolish. The same buying attempt happened, but this zone did not break, and again there was a pullback. During the pullback, negative delta started appearing again, and another rejection was taken from here. If we look at today's entire day of Nifty, it only showed movement at the start, and even in this movement, what confirmation did the order flow give us? It confirmed that it is holding the previous day's volume node and there is no buying activity within these candles. Secondly, there was significant selling, and with the selling, there were rejections. One rejection and another first rejection. Then in the next 23 candles, a pullback and this rejection. The whole day sideways, Nifty did not show any solid buying interest anywhere. Even if you read it, and even if there was any, there was no price like movement visible anywhere. Okay, so here the price moved significantly with selling, and after two pullbacks, there was a rejection from here. Still, it was quite sideways, very much so. Look, from 540 to 500, from 540 to 580, the entire Nifty was within just 40 points today. And even within those 40 points, we saw a selling zone. And from that selling zone, we encountered two rejections. Okay, this was today's analysis of Nifty. And let's take a look at Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty was completely opposite today. So this could be one reason why Nifty was selling sideways today, because Bank Nifty was bullish. And we saw that in Nifty, it was bearish. So both setups were opposite and neither took any movement. How was Bank Nifty bullish? I'll explain. The first candle had significant buying. Look at this positive delta of 14 and significant buying from the buying zone of 15-16. Okay. Another buying attempt happened at 25, and if we look at the buying here, the largest was 10 and 14 and 16. So overall, if we identify a zone where the most buying attempts occurred, it was this zone, where the pullback happened. Now a small upside movement was observed, after which Bank Nifty also remained completely sideways. It showed a move once at the time of closing, but it's hard to predict this move until this bank zone is broken. Okay, so Bank Nifty was completely opposite, with only two buying deltas observed. After that, there was no volume anywhere at all. There was selling within this candle. We couldn't do anything. It was from the bank selling that. These were the bank zones. They were slightly, 12 were rejections. But Nifty was completely bearish. And Bank Nifty was completely bliss, with races on both sides of 10. Today was sideways. Okay, this was today's live session. If anyone still has any doubts,